Khotan Khan is dead. We spared Lord Shimura, who did not honor his request to kill him after we beat him in battle. And now, the ghost must take down the rest of these Mongol strongholds. Yes, Khotan Khan defeated. Beheaded him after we, well, stabbed him through the chest and lit him on fire. Did a bunch of crazy stuff. Ooh. Almost messed that one up. But yes, even though we killed their leader, there's still work to be done here. The island of Tsushima is under attack by some Mongol invaders still. 6 more locations. It's just Kamiagata, this region, that is under attack. I've already liberated the other 2. Yes, Khotan Khan is now defeated. You know, I don't think Khotan Khan is a real person. I think the game decided to take some personal liberties with that. Look, I'm not caught up on the history of this game and all that, you know. But from what I've read online and everything about it, you know, there was a... Oh, gosh. I hate these spear guys. They're the worst. Always. Get out of here. You know, it is based on the Where did all these other guys come from? Oh my gosh. It is based on a very real Mongol invasion of Japan. But basically everything else is, you know, fabricated. Which I knew, you know, Jin is not a real person. There is no real ghost of Tsushima. But, Khotan Khan I don't think is real either. What I do wonder, though, is what do the people of this real place, Tsushima, because Tsushima is real, how do they feel about this game? They probably think it's cool, I'm not gonna lie. But I read some other things, too. Oh. Like, other historical inaccuracies. Like, apparently, like, again, I could be totally wrong. Apparently the katana was invented, like, 100 years after the events of this game is supposed to take place. But hey, you know what? It's a cool game anyway. I like it. It's fun. Yes, there's a lot of repetitive stuff in it. A lot of characters who get on my nerves, even though that's kind of the point. But still, it's fine. Ooh, Mongol artifact. A Mahakala mask. Revered in Buddhism as a guardian deity, Mahakala is depicted in many forms, though most often as an imposing presence with a black face, 3 eyes, and a crown of 5 skulls, believed to represent the transmutation of negative afflictions, the 5 kleshas into the 5 wisdoms. I don't know. I'm probably not pronouncing this all right. Mahakala's incorporation into Mongolian shamanistic rituals is just one example of the impact Tibetan Buddhism has had on the nomadic tribes of the Asian steppes. And that's another thing, too, is that we heard that the Ghost's army is preparing to move forward on the Mongol steppes, you know, where they live and all that, which Jin does not know about. You know, he was not aware of that. We were talking with Shimura and whatnot. So... you know, I guess, you know, the legend of the ghost is beyond him now. Like, yeah, we are the ghost of Tsushima. But it is a myth. It is a legend. That's the point. There's more people in here? That guy's running away. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the reason why Jin's story ends with this game. Unless, like, many years from now they decide to continue it. But, you know, because it's about that... It's about that legend. Like, yeah, sure, you could continue the story in several games after this if you really wanted to. But I feel like leaving it how it is here, you know, ending it when he becomes the ghost. And how that legend grows and everything. Like, you know, it feels like a classic tale. Oh, get you out of here. A classic tale of, you know, a legend, a myth. That obviously grows, and you leave the rest of the story to your imaginations, you know? What does Jin do in the years after this? I don't know. But that's okay. Sometimes leaving things unknown is better. What I do know is that our story isn't done just yet, though. We have to take out these Mongol camps and see what else is going on in Tsushima. See another Mongol camp down there. We're going to take care of this one, too. In Sago Forest. Don't know what this camp is called. Whoa. Lighting changed completely. We don't need to do a standoff. We can be sneaky this time. Jin does not care about honor. Except that's the thing. That's the thing. Jin does have honor. And I feel like I maybe haven't articulated this point as well as I would have hoped so far. But it's not that Jin doesn't care about honor or that honor is a bad thing. Honor is a very good thing. It's just their idea of honor that Shimura follows and the shogun and all that. Which is causing a lot of problems for people. You know, Jin is a very honorable person, sacrificing everything to save the people, you know? He's no longer samurai, disowned by his family, made an outlaw, on the run now. And he doesn't like these tactics that he's resorting to here, even if they're smart, you know? He doesn't want to be just, you know, poisoning people and all that stuff. He doesn't seem to care much about it. But it's not like he takes pleasure in it either. And so when, you know, at the end, when we spared Shimura, he said, I have no honor, but I will not kill you. He does have honor. He just doesn't follow that idea of honor. So maybe Jin doesn't believe he has honor, but I do. I personally do. And I don't, you know what, I don't really blame Shimura either. He's an old man. And I don't think there's really changing his ways anymore. I also love the fact that I can kill bosses with one hit now. Oh, I love doing the ghost stance right before they try to hit me. But yes, Jin, no longer samurai. Fully embraced the ghost persona. Yes. Pretty much a ninja, or what do they call it? Shinobi? Maybe I'm misremembering. It's like he's like a ninja. And that's why I think this game's opening this loot box. Didn't mean to do that. Don't dosho me. Oh, gosh. It's getting the loot. Stop it. It's why I think this game's story is super interesting. Like, I'm not super familiar with, you know, samurai or ninja history. Besides, like, the basics and whatnot. But the journey of somebody going from something like a samurai to a ninja, at least in, like, the kind of Western pop culture sphere, is a very interesting journey that's happening here, and I think Jin has a very complete character arc and journey that's understandable, and you really grow with the character as well. So yeah, I think that that element of honor that's so heavy in this game is done pretty well. Uh-oh. These people are harassing someone. Oh, don't you dare hit my horse. Oh, you hit me. Jesus. Get off me. This poor defenseless civilian. Just trying to switch stance here. And these Mongols up here are super armored. It's almost like it's a video game. And every time you go to a new region, the bad guys are tougher. That's how video game levels work. Come on. Come on. Try it. Oh. But speaking of video games, this is a video game. You know what? Fine. You're free. Go ahead. Tell the people. Anyway. One of the video gamey things about this video game that I'm not really a huge fan of, and has been a criticism laid out by a lot of other people, is that the open world can get a little repetitive. Like, it's not bad. I don't want to give that impression. It's not bad, but it is very much like, you know, it's an open world video game, so go do like the same kind of checklists, activities. Like, there's 100,000 fox dens, there's 100,000 hot springs, and you know, like, it's, I don't want to say it's bad, right? Because those things are cool, but after a while, it does feel like you are just checking off boxes. You know, and I think what's worse than that are the actual, or some of the side missions. I think the character-specific side missions, I guess I could talk about that afterwards, because that's a whole different thing. They're not even really side missions, but just the actual true side missions in the game, where you are just doing things for random people. I think that's where the repetition is at its worst, because like a fox den or a hot spring, those are nice changes of pace. It's something different. Even though there are like 1,000 of them. But when it comes to some of those side missions where you encounter like an NPC and whatnot, almost all of them are all about just like, I need your help to find somebody, and then you find them and they die, and then you go back and you tell them and they're sad that they're dead, or you find them and then you go back and the person that you talked to initially is dead, and it's just super repetitive in that sense. I was not a fan of a lot of the side missions, the general side missions in this game, but I am a fan of this collectibles. The Mongol artifacts and the records fleshes out the world a little bit, and I get to learn about this culture, because even though the events of the game are fictional, they did put a lot of work into the designs and some of the more generalized historical aspects. So this is I don't know how you pronounce it, Kupchur, I don't know. Initially a kind of levy imposed by Mongol rulers on the flocks and herds of the semi-nomadic subjects, something that I can't pronounce, has become the basis of taxation throughout the Mongol Empire. Hate taxes. And I think everybody does throughout history has hated taxes. Under this system, Mongols in a military campaign are not paid, but are instead required to make payments to their immediate commanders. This practice motivates the plunder of conquered areas so that troops earn enough for themselves while meeting the demands of their superiors. Wow. Wait a minute. That's actually a very important artifact. That kind of changes my perspective on things. It's no wonder that the Mongol invaders have killed and pillaged so much. They're not getting paid for this. The only way they get food and money is if they take it from other people. I mean, it's awful. They shouldn't do it. But, like, they have to pay their leaders to be here? Jeez. Gosh. The Mongols kind of suck, dude. Like, the higher-ups. Yeah, but who would have thought, though, the higher-ups of some organization not knowing how the boots-on-the-ground people actually do the job and making decisions that don't really make much sense for the actual worker. Yeah, never would have seen that coming. Anyway, it's good to know that that's a universal problem. Man, knowing that these people are probably just guys who got sucked into this whole thing and have to pay taxes to their commander, the only way that they're going to be able to survive is if they steal from the people they're invading. This is a messed up system. Oh, gosh. What's more messed up, though, are the spear enemies. I hate these guys. Get out of here. What? No. Get out of here. Come on. Ooh. That was cool. You're done, too. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, side content, not terrible, not great either. How are these fires still raging? These things were on fire like when I came here. That's something that this game doesn't really make clear, which is how much time is supposed to have passed. I know it's going to change depending on how much stuff you do out in the wild and, you know, other side missions and what am I getting stuck on right now? Side missions and whatnot. But how long was Jin's journey here from, you know, a samurai to ghost? Because he was full-on samurai just like Shimura. Ooh, got the base here. Just like Shimura. Don't you dare hit my horse. You will not harm Kaze, the reincarnation of my other horse, Nobu. Anyway, as I was trying to say, how long was the journey for Jin to become, you know, the ghost here? I'm assuming a decent amount of time has passed, right? Because it wouldn't make sense for it to just happen overnight. And given how many side missions there were with the, they're technically side missions, but they're not. The character quests, I'll call them. You know, with Masako, Kenji, Yuna, Norio, Ishikawa. I guess a lot of time had passed. I'm going to say a few months. Probably no more than a year. There's a lot of guys here too. But as I was mentioning earlier at the last base, those side missions I actually liked. They were cool. You got to grow closer to your side characters. Even though they weren't required quests. Oh my gosh, how are you not dead? They definitely felt like they were required. And I actually wonder how things would have been different if I didn't do those. I mean, I'm not gonna not do them. But, like, if I didn't learn all that stuff about those characters and everything, how would the main story dialogue have changed? Because a lot of it is them saying, hey, I promised you this while I was in this mission, or thank you for helping me with this thing. I know some of the dialogue changes depending on the order you do certain missions in when it gives you multiple missions at once. So maybe they wrote it in there. I don't think all of the endings for those storylines were perfect, though. I'm trying to remember how things unfold in all of them. Ishikawa, you know, he trains Tomoe, who's a horrible person, because she goes ahead and trains the Mongols, and had a really bad past, and I just chopped that dude's head off. But then in the end, it's like they make it to where it's more morally gray, and it's like, oh well, maybe there's two sides to the story. And she felt bad about what she did, except she still did it anyway. And then she just leaves, and I guess she gets a second chance to redeem herself, but I don't know why, because she was polite to Jin. So that was kind of disappointing, that she didn't get brought to justice, and Ishikawa just kind of didn't really grow as a character. Masako got a satisfying ending, because, you know, her whole family was killed, then you realize her psycho sister was behind it, and you actually do just get that revenge, and you stop it, and it's bittersweet because her family, you know, Masako's family is avenged, but, you know, she had to kill her sister, too, who she thought was dead, but actually betrayed her. So, I think that's all the character missions. Yeah, some of them satisfying, some of them just kind of fizzled out, but it's good that they were integrated into the main story and they weren't purely side missions, so we did get big climactic finishes there. I wonder what they're up to now, though. If they're still, like, working with the Ghost's army, or they're going back to the Shogun. I mean, Ishikawa is no longer part of the Nagao clan that he worked for, and Masako was part of the Adachi clan, but they're all dead, so maybe they are just working for the Ghost and everything, because they seem to not disapprove of his methods, especially Masako. They don't have clans anymore. You know, do they really work? Do they still work for the Shogun? It's not clear, but their storylines are finished, so I guess they'll find peace at some point. Icy Forest Crossroads. Kill the Mongols. And bonus, defeat enemies with the longbow. Actually, I haven't used the longbow that much. Sorry about this dog. There's a lot of weapons in this game that Jin has. I don't think he needed to make the poison. That whole thing about making the poison because he needed that to kill the Mongols was, that was something. I felt like that was a little contrived. Like, you don't need poison, dude. You have arrows, several types of arrows, explosives, your sword. Like, there's a lot of stuff you're working with here. But I guess it did, you know, it was important for the story. It was, if not a little contrived. And something that I found that didn't really come up that much was the fact that, you know, Jin's poison was responsible for killing all those people because the Khan made it. So, like, he doesn't seem to feel much guilt over that, you know, besides, like, one optional piece of dialogue, which I felt like they would have talked about more, but I don't know. I guess that dude just didn't react at all. Oh my gosh, I'm killing these guys with a longbow. Why is it not counting? That's you. Oh, did I have to do it with just a regular shot? Oh, there we go. So I felt like that wasn't really brought up that much as I figured it would have been, because that's a huge thing you're responsible for, you know? And it's really, one of the big oh my gosh, they're cooking me right now. The big failures of him being the Ghost was that he got all those people killed, you know? Not, like, directly responsible for it, but still, it's something. Oh, did not mean to turn on photo mode. How did that happen? I meant to switch out. Gosh, my items here. And even then, look, I'm getting shot with poison arrows. You know, Jin is technically responsible for all of this. Actually, it's Yuriko, that old lady who's really good at making, was really good, she died, who was really good at making poisons. Where's this other guy? But yeah, I feel like they could have leaned into the consequences of him being the Ghost a little bit more. is left pretty open-ended, you know? Like, ultimately what he did as the ghost was good because it helped save people. But in the long run, will it have more consequences because now the people of Tsushima are less like... Yo, get back here. Hold on. No, get back here. He's gone. I'm not chasing after him. Because ultimately the people of Tsushima care more about the ghost than the samurai. And all the samurai are dead. So, you know, when the shogun tries to, you know, instate his rule again, is that going to cause, like, a civil war or something? Which is another thing, like, another area they could have taken the story of Jin with, you know, continued with it. But they don't want to go for a direct sequel to this. They've made that pretty clear, which is, again, I'm not complaining. It's fine. I feel like they told the story pretty completely. There's just a few open-ended questions like that, but hey, what do I know? There's no real Ghost of Tsushima. This is historical fiction. Give me your artifact. Let's learn some more. Hide. Yeah, it's leather. I know. Pretty universal for most cultures. And here we are. Coming up on the last Mongol territory in the island of Tsushima. Unless there's some more that Yuna's going after, because that's what she said. But this is it, guys. This is our last Mongol territory here. Okay. Surveying the land. Somehow they don't see me in my red outfit. I'm surprised there's no bosses either in any of these Mongol bases. I mean, these are just, you know, the ones that were left over. Not that it would matter anyway. The bosses in this game are quite easy. I'm going to do a standoff. I think the closest boss, the closest a boss actually got to killing me was Lord Shimura at the end, because one hit took out like half my health. But even he was pretty easy. And speaking of that fight, I know the ending is a bit of a tough decision, you know, or at least controversial among fans of the game. Which is the right decision to make? Do you kill Lord Shimura because that is his request based on his belief in honor, or do you spare him and follow Jin's code of you know, of ignoring that whole thing, the traditional samurai code, to do things your own way? And so there's really two different ways you could look at it, which is the fact that you know, killing him is the right thing to do because honor is really all he has left. It means so much to him. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Get out of here. No! Don't even try it. Get out of here. And that, you know, it gives him a good death in the end. Shimura, I mean, not the dogs. And, you know, you're honoring that request. And there's also the implication that, the possibility that if he fails to kill Jin, that the shogun will ask Shimura to kill himself because of the failure. Except that doesn't happen, because as we know, or as it's implied at least, Shimura is still alive, even now, even though a little bit of time has passed since that duel and what's going on right now. Not that much time, but just, you know, a little bit. And yeah, so like there is a you know, a reasonable justification for why killing Shimura might be the right choice. But for me, I feel like sparing is the right thing to do, because the whole game is the story of Jin abandoning that code that he believed in just as strong as Shimura, and that he realizes the flaws in being blind to, you know, that set of rules to the detriment of everybody. And so he abandoned everything. Well, not really abandoned, but he sacrificed everything so that he could do what was necessary to save the people. And I think sparing Shimura at the end is just that final act that cements that, hey, he doesn't follow that same code that Shimura does. That Shimura doesn't have to die just because honor dictates it. And that even though, you know, Jin will be hunted for the rest of his life, it's the price he's willing to pay to do the right thing. And ultimately, that's a more honorable choice. So for me, I felt like sparing Shimura even in the short term, you know, he's not going to be happy about that. He wanted that honorable death. I think we gave him another chance. Showed him that, hey, it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to all, you know, kill and die, and that's what honor is about. No, honor can just be about doing the right thing, no matter, you know, the sacrifice. And Jin is a hero in my eyes for that reason. But hey, that's our last Mongol base taken care of. That's going to go boom. And what do you know? All the places, I keep going over there. All 3 sections of Tsushima are freed. Liberated. And I keep clicking over there. We'll get there soon enough. All right, chill. The Mongol invaders are now gone. Unless they still show up in, like, packs randomly. I don't remember. They might do that. But, hey. Good work, Jin. It's a very quiet victory. You know, no round of applause, no congratulations. I don't know where the side characters are at this point in the game. But at least there's no more Mongol strongholds. You put a real dent in their operation. Good job, Jin.